Hi everyone, welcome to Silver Values. So today we're looking at Humacyte, and today we'll talk about the share price because obviously it's just had a terrible day. And then we're going to talk about a letter that was drafted up by 3 surgeons as a rebuttal to a New York Times article. So literally carnage on the street today, $1.49 closing, getting as low as $1.31. It's just blood on the street today. But obviously you can see in the middle here, it just like the minute it just passed that was $1.55, it was a massive panic and sold way down. A lot of bargain hunters saw that, or shorters kind of recovered and brought the stock back up to $1.49 for the closing. But yeah, it's just like I'm pretty speechless to watch the stock go down this much. Because you have to think, you know, how much time does it take to build this product, how much money was spent going through this R&D process, then going through the FDA process. You know, there's nothing else like this on the market. It's just a matter of not having the sales for people to kind of gauge how well this product's going to do in the future, and the threat that they may run out of money in the future as well. So, but yeah, like it's a lot of worries until you see the sales. The minute there's substantial sales coming through, then people have more belief in the company going forward. Until then, I guess it's just up to the shorters, the traders. You know, there's not a lot of we can do as like people who are holding the stock, because obviously the buyers are outnumbered. Volume that got traded today was 17.9 million. Usual average volumes at 3 million, so you can see a lot of stock was traded today. Okay, so in terms of share price, I think once they start delivering sales, it should recover. But until then, yeah, like it's in their hands anyway. I think in a way we just have to be patient as holders of the stock. I definitely think it will recover, but obviously they have to get those sales and they got to get them fast. Alright, so we're going to jump into this article. So it was posted by Rishi Kundi on LinkedIn. I'll put the link in the description, and then you can just read it yourself as well. Because I could read it, but then there's just it's just gonna take a lot of time and it's more or less what you might expect with a drafted letter anyway. So I'm just gonna more skip to the highlights. So it just basically tells you what the product is about, and I mean, if you're familiar with the videos and the company, you pretty much know what Symvess does anyway. So between these 3 doctors, Dr. Ernest Moore, Dr. Charles J. Fox, and Dr. Rishi Kundi, they have seen about approximately 50 patients in all, and in their experience, it's been, you know, like a lot of these have covered quite a lot of comprehensive kind of trauma surgeries. So like, as they say, over the last 6 years. So these guys have been watching this for like 6 years, and they know the product in and out. So it's not like these guys were just exposed to it recently. It's been 6 years, and they've seen a lot of good results. So as they say, we have used Symvess to repair vascular injury and preserve life and limb in patients who have been shot, stabbed, or suffered crushing blunt force trauma. We have used the vessel in patients with severe peripheral vascular disease and avoided amputation from poor circulation. So as you can, like they've used it in a lot of different cases, and basically they've always seen it as something that's, you know, functional and working really well. So as I say, they've seen that Symvess functions well as a vascular conduit, is durable, and reliably restores blood flow to save life and limb, and that it does so without the negative consequences of implementing a synthetic plastic device. So basically, it's not a very long letter, but it's just very precise. It's just basically they've seen about 50 cases over the last 6 years for multiple different type of injuries, and it's always been performing very, very well, and hence why when they see this New York Times article, they kind of wonder what it's really on about, because, well, if they've seen like 50 patients and most of them have gone fine, they don't really see that there's a big problem. And this article literally just obscures the public's view of this product, while the people that have used it, the surgeons, they've all got glowing reviews, and hence why these three have just come out and said, we've used it, we think it performs well, and as they say, Symvess is an important addition to the tools that surgeons can use in treating injured patients both at home and in the battlefield. So yeah, you can see that it's a good product, but obviously they got to get it selling. They got to get those sales going to fund the company, because the company is burning through a lot of money, and that just causes a lot of doubt in people that they may have to dilute in the future, which is not nice, obviously. But they do have 2 quarters at least to prove themselves. For me, like if you look at the stats, like a lot of these large level 1 centers do at least several hundred surgeries, if not even up to 1,000 to 2,000, and basically that means even if we take a fraction of it, that's a lot of sales just for one level 1 center. So if it goes well, we might see a lot of sales. So hence why when I think about the analysts, the 7 to 13 million kind of expected revenue for 2025, in a way that's sort of conservative, because if the product can take off early and these centers decide to use it a lot, then it definitely goes beyond that range. But obviously the CEO is not in a place to kind of say whether how it could perform, because it's still so early in the sales process that it's hard to give a good guidance. So hence they just agreed with the analyst numbers for the time being until there is sales. Hence why after probably end of this quarter, because this quarter just recently started, so basically once this quarter ends, and it's going to be 3 months in a sense, so a lot of centers will have started approving it by then, because if they take 3 to 6 months, then we'll see some more in terms of the speed that these centers are approving it, and also how quickly these sales are starting to trickle along. So I think at the end of this quarter, we should get a really, really good idea anyway. But like the stock price, it's basically valuing the company as not, it doesn't paint a very bright picture, and it just kind of as like a sign that a lot of people have panicked. They've seen the share price drop, they just want to get out, have nothing to do with the share price. But yeah, sometimes that is the reality of these companies. They take a while to get through the FDA process. They take a while to get sales on the road. But yeah, like this is in my mind the turning point where they've got finances, they've got everything approved, and they just have to just sell it to the hospitals. Which if they can really ramp up those sales and get everyone believing, then we'll definitely see the share price at a much, much higher price. But yeah, like I would have never imagined it would get this low. But it means it's good value for the buyers, obviously. But yeah, it's terrible for holders, because no one really wants to hold a share price when it's down this low. But that's the reality. Sometimes you just have to hold and believe, and once they start getting those sales in, things should take care of itself. That's all I have to say for today's video. Until then, good luck investing, everyone. If you've got any questions, post below. Until then, see you next time.